Welcome everyone. Om Shanti. Today we have a interesting subject. I would say not the subject, but the title. And when we talk about health expert, generally we think of doctor or a medical faculty person. So then the next question is, how can we become a medical doctor? How can we achieve or acquire that kind of knowledge? So that's a very good question. So let's find out answer to that question. And at the end, I am 100% sure that we all would be agreeing to this statement that we can take care of our health and we can be our own health expert. So to begin with, let's begin the class and find out. I hope you all have a pen and pencil or something to write on is available on the side. We will do just a checkpoint first, that what kind of energy I have right now. We will take a moment of silence. Just check own self. How do I feel right now? Am I tired after the whole day routine? Or am I just okay? Or I just had a cup of coffee and I'm well prepared? Or I'm curious that what is going to be here in this class? It can be anything, right? So note it and write it down. And now let's do a small experiment, that how can we change this feeling, whatever it is at this moment, in a few minutes. It can change to good or bad, but it can change, and we have ability to do that. So let's sit comfortably first, and I will appreciate, and it will be more fun if you can turn the cameras on. That will be feeling like more interactive, and I'm looking at real people here, not the wall. So thank you for turning on the cameras. So take a deep breath in, just inhale, and even longer breath out. Feel free to breathe out by mouth or nose, whichever is longer way. Let's repeat 2 more times. Just be silent. Be in the stillness of this moment. Next, I'm closing my eyes very softly, and I'm trying to remember a moment where I was truly entertained. I was laughing out loud genuinely, or a moment which touched my inside very genuinely in a positive way. Just remember that moment. Absorb what is that moment and the feel that moment, memory of that moment brings in right now. In the next, I'm trying to remember when I baked a cake or cinnamon cookies or a pot of coffee brewing in the home or a hearthful meal being cooked in the house and the whole house is full of the flavor. Just try to remember that smell and the feel of that smell. Now I'm slowly coming back to the real consciousness of the room I am in. And try to recall past few minutes. If it was possible to change the feel by each recalling of memory or the music, did it happen? Did the mood or feel change with each memory and the music and everything? Yes. So the outcome of this experiment is that yes, it is possible to change how we feel in any given moment by doing just by remembering something good that uplifts us, something good that recalls a happy memory. We don't need any extra tools to change our mood, correct? So yes, we are moving further into this topic of being our own health expert. And I will be happy to share a presentation with you. All right. So it's a common question. that when do we go see a doctor? Obviously, it's very simple that whenever we feel we have some bad symptoms, right? But if I have a little bit headache, would I go to doctor? No. If I'm sneezing 10 times in an hour, would I still go to see a doctor? No. I would first try all kind of home remedies I know, all kind of over-the-counter aid available. I will try all of that. And even then, I will still continue functioning with that half energy. But when a moment comes that it's not possible anymore and I become bedridden or I have to rest, that kind of feel comes, then I will think, let me go see a doctor now because nothing is working anymore. And then we go to see a doctor. So then another question comes in my head that, so does it mean if we don't have any symptoms, we are healthy? What do you think? If we don't have any bad symptoms, are we healthy? You can just nod your head in yes or no. Someone is saying no. Okay. So if I feel very irritated, I feel overwhelmed, I feel confused more so often, and I just take everything granted and just be in my happy-go-lucky moment, don't take any responsibilities. Do you think anyone would go to see a doctor for this kind of symptoms? These are symptoms. But I don't think anyone would go see a doctor at that point. And so then it comes in my head that what is the definition of health? How the health is defined? If health is not mere a group of bunch of symptoms manifesting in the body, what is the health? The health has defined differently, but very similarly by different medicinal systems. And then there is everyone knows, I think, the World Health Organization, which is a global health organization. So let's see what this organization has defined the health. So they have said that the health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. It rings a tiny bell in my head that, yeah, health is not just the lack of disease in the body. It is much more than that. And then there is a medicinal system, which is the oldest medicinal system in the world, is called Ayurveda. Ayurveda defines the health is like the one who is established in the self, who has balanced all the life forces. Ayurveda has a defined different types of life forces in the body, and then defined fire of digestion, balanced fire, properly formed tissues, proper elimination of waste products, and well-functioning of bodily process, mind, soul, and senses of blissfulness. This Ayurveda definition is furthering the definition of health even to the deeper level than what WHO has defined. And then there is yoga. Yoga is also very, very, very old, ancient health system. I would call it system because it has a comprehensive mind, body, and soul level effect on the person. So how yoga defines health is physical, mental, social, vocational, moral, emotional, spiritual dimensions. Yoga takes it even further out, stretches the definition in more deeper level. And then there is one more holistic medicine, alternative medicine is called homeopathy. And the definition of this health as per this system is mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And there is one more factor here in the theory of homeopathy is that they consider disease as a bad power and the health is a good power, harmonious power in the body. And the body is governed by a vital force. This is homeopathy is like more than 200 years old alternative medicinal system. And this was defined at that time that body is governed by vital force. It, it sounds a little bit familiar to me. It resonates very much with the Raja Yoga meditation knowledge. So combining all these definitions from all these different holistic medicines, let's see what are the parameters of a healthy quality life. To lead a healthy quality life, first and foremost is a healthy mind, which can create quality thoughts. Second thing, a healthy body, which is pain-free and has freedom of movement. And the most important is healthy soul, who is blissful and fly free. Now, what is fly free means? It could be a question. Who is new here, who are regular, they all know what is fly free. We will see what is fly free of the soul quality later on. So let's check the healthy mind. Healthy mind is the one that feels joy and creates quality thoughts. And the mind which can stay steady. We have the 5 sense organs, and the sense organ senses things from around, like eyes, ears, mouth, touch, nose. When they sense something, they send a message to mind, and the thoughts are created, generated. And imagine that inside our head there is a small beautiful pond, and the pond has beautiful waves coming from periphery to the center, This is a joyful, blissful state of mind. But when our senses starts working, when we see things around, we start thinking more. We interpret what eyes see, we interpret what ears hear, and what we touch. And based upon that, then mind starts creating more and more thoughts. So mind is like, we see the picture here, the swan. How swans are steady in the middle of the lake or the whatever water body they are in. They are not affected by the speed of the waves. They are just steady right there. So exactly, the healthy mind is like the swan, steady in the pond of subconscious mind, not getting affected by those waves of the thoughts. Healthy body. How can we create, or how can we have a healthy body? So how can we have the pain-free or freedom of movement? And body is a physical thing, right? So to create a healthy body, we need physical things like balanced diet, exercise, quality sleep, things like that. Our body is made up of 5 elements of nature. So the nature's 5 elements are fire, air, space, earth, and water. Exact same elements are in our body. So there is a relationship here. Nature, and similar things get together very well. We don't have to make many efforts to mix things in. So if our diet is consisting of the things which is growing out of the earth, which are fresh and alive, then our body can easily assimilate those things into the energy. So the balanced diet is very, very important for a healthy body, and such a food is also called sattvic food. Another aspect of keeping the body healthy while using the body is a spiritual concept, that we all have to do actions. We have to do perform duties in different fields of our lives. But doer is just one. I'm the doer, waking up, doing my own things, going to the work, doing household things, coming back, do everything whatever my family is requiring. Just so the doer is one, and we have to perform different actions in different areas. By shifting the gears internally in mind that I am the doer, but I'm doing this as a service to others. I'm not doing this for myself. So when we don't have the self-centered or the self-awareness thoughts of doing any action, we don't feel the compulsion. We don't see the amount of the work. We tend to overlook when when I'm doing things for others. I will not see that, oh, I have to do this much. But when I doing things for my own self, I am doing things for everyone else as they want. But then when it comes to me, I'm tired, and I will say, okay, I'm not doing this. It's okay. And that is not like I'm taking care of myself or my body. So overall, if we have the soul consciousness of when we do the actions and chores, that is a feel of, that gives us a feel of a giver. We are giving out. We genuinely give something from us to others, and that giving out attitude will generate good feelings and good chemicals in the body, and that will not let us get down or feel tired so easily, and the body can do so many things. Now come to the healthy soul. So what can be a healthy soul? Healthy, which is feeling blissful, and the soul which can fly free. So when the body is healthy and the mind is healthy, when the mind is working as it is supposed to be, body is in good condition, obviously the souls which resides inside the body, soul or spirit, it's going to be a healthy soul, and nothing has to be done in this direction. Body is like a dress. If we are wearing a dress, if it is too tight, body is not going to be comfortable, and the mind will keep thinking different feeling about it. So same way, if we apply the analogy to body, body is a dress and mind is the fitting of the body, fitting of the dress. So if both of these are good, the wearer who is wearing this dress is going to be in a blissful condition, blissful state. Another thing is the food for soul. Food for soul is what? It is Sat Sang, a true company and the true knowledge. So a companion. What kind of companion is the best or true companion? If we think, it is very easily we can easily guess that who do we call good companion? A friend or anyone who is not judgmental, who is not criticizing us, who is going to be always with us whenever I need, and whatever I do, no matter what, always be there. So, who can be such companion? And this companion should also be able to guide us whenever we need the guidance. That companion should be a good listener. When I'm in stress, I want a good listener for my whatever story I have in my head. So I don't think there is anyone living on this planet can be that sort of that high level of companion. That can only be the divinity or divine entity. So we will see that in more detail later. And the knowledge, obviously the true knowledge, because even friends' opinion can change how they feel about us. If we change our feelings towards them, their opinion, their guidance will change immediately. So only true knowledge and true guidance can come from that the supreme authority, no one else. So now let's look at each parameter with some more details. So how many of us think that brain and mind are same things or different things? Brain and mind are same thing, different things, right? Yes. You are 100% right. So the brain is a physical organ, and we can hold the brain in our hand. When we study the human anatomy, we can actually take the brain out and hold it. It has a shape, it has a weight, it has it can be touched. And versus mind is metaphysical. Mind does not have shape and size. Mind don't have weight. Mind cannot be touched. So to um, fit this relationship very well, we can take example of a like cell phone. We all use cell phone. This mere cell phone hardware itself is of no use if there is no software downloaded in it, right? So same thing, brain itself is nothing if the mind is not there. So mind is a software and brain is a hardware. So mind releases the mind is the energy. And when does this energy releases? Because mind has a capacity to feel, to choose between this and this, think. And when mind does this type of activities, there is physical changes happening in the brain itself. When the mind is thinking, a wave-like of pattern creates, and that affects certain centers, the actual physical centers in the brain. And then when those brain cells are touched by these waves, the chemicals are releasing. And these chemicals are called hormones. There are several hormonal glands in the brain and throughout our body. So let's see, we will see some of the chemicals, not all of them, because these out of so many, these four are genuinely very, very much responsible on how we feel and how we can take ourselves, how we can present ourselves, and how we can use ourselves in a perfect manner. These four hormones are responsible. And in the beginning of our class, we did that small experiment, knowing or not knowing, we all made it possible, made it create, we all created these all four hormones at that time in our brain. So the first one is the dopamine. This is a feel good hormone. Whenever we feel good about something and something, we have a sense of pleasure. Remember this, next time when you feel good, your brain has released this feel good hormone, dopamine, and that's why we feel good. So if this hormone is not secreting in the brain, we don't feel that. So it is very important, because brain is a physical organ. To keep a healthy brain, we need to feed the brain with certain things, physical things. So eating good healthy diet, a diet consisting of high quality proteins, low saturated fat food, certain fruits and produces and nuts, exercise, good restful sleep, and a diet low in saturated fats. One thing is for sure, which is not physical, it is metaphysical, but it affects all these four feel good hormones that we will see. One is this meditation. Other hormone is serotonin. This is mood boosting hormone, and that is also responsible for our feel good, mood boosting. uh, like we just practice that. Whoever had a low energy in the beginning of the class, by doing that activity, mood was lifted naturally. We did not use any stimulants to lift the mood at that point. So serotonin was released at that time. And again, healthy diet, full of protein, all of that is required. And this hormone is uh, responsible for maintaining our appetite, digestion, learning ability, memory. So why I'm explaining this, that dopamine, serotonin are doing this, because we have ability to create this whenever we want to. And that's why I say that we can become our own health expert. So next one is the endorphin. Endorphins are a painkiller. They are when this hormone releases, when the body feels that the body has to work a little bit hard than the usual amount of energy using. So things like when we are dancing, running, exercising hard, weightlifting, things like that. So obviously the body has to work a little bit harder. So in all those situations where body sends signals to mind that body has to work harder than the capacity, the brain will release, the neurotransmitter will release this hormone, and we will have more energy to do those things. How many of you have experienced that someday, sometime we have pains in the body, or maybe I have a pain in knee joint, or my legs are hurting, and I feel like, oh no, I don't want to go for a walk today, or I don't want to exercise, right? But even after that kind of pain, if we still push ourselves a little bit and go for a walk, then we may have experienced that the walk was beautiful, and after the walk, the pains are gone. Why? The pains were not fake, but the body sends signal to brain that this body needs painkillers, body needs to work, and these endorphins were released. And then one more feel good hormone is oxytocin, very lovely hormone. This the nickname of this hormone is also love hormone, and this is released when we do we feel intimacy, we do something like physical touch, or listen to music, massaging, practicing yoga practice, because yoga we do with our own self and own body, so that releases oxytocin. And this hormone is responsible to promote the trust, empathy, bonding relationships, feel good, feel love for each other. If we don't have this hormone, we don't feel love. So uh, whenever we are angry, and we angry on a particular person, try this. Uh, just massage ourselves. We can all do an experiment right now. Like rub rub palms together, rub palms together, even faster, even faster, and then gently, very gentle touch to our body. We can even press down deeper at certain points where it feels good, and then move, shift to other place and to other point, and just be with the feel. And that's why we feel good when we go for a massage. Massaging to even another person would also release this hormone. And just very gently rub fingers through the face. You feel it? You feel good, right? Feel loved. So that's the beauty of releasing oxytocin. All right. So now we see the brain health. For brain health, what science is saying. Okay. So as we learned a little bit before, that a healthy brain needs a rich diet, nutrition rich diet, balanced diet, protein rich diet, omega 3. This type of fat are called monounsaturated fats, omega 3 fats, and these are coming in abundance from nuts and seeds. We don't have to eat fish or any non-vegetarian food for these things. Certain fruits, certain produces, uh, the deeply colored berries, they are so healthy. We don't, the fresh berries are so tasty, and like even just by thinking of it, I feel I'm blooming. I feel happy. I love berries. And so that's just a mental effect. But eating those berries, they have anthocyanins, very, very useful ingredient in everything, whatever has deep colors. These compounds are anti-inflammatory and antioxidants, antioxidant effect, and these are like anti-inflammatory. Whatever diseases caused by inflammation, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, uh, joint pains, you name it, most of the illnesses are inflammatory diseases. So taking this kind of food will take care of that. Uh, Turmeric, broccoli, pumpkin seeds, nuts and other seeds. Nuts mainly walnuts, almonds, pecans, cashew, pistachio. These are rich nuts. And then whatever fruit is high in vitamin C. We should also be very careful not to eat certain type of food. The food which is high in saturated fats. Saturated fat is whatever fat comes from milk and highly processed food, ready-made food, trans fats, um, refined carbs, sugary drinks. All of that is very harmful for brain health. And now, for what to do for healthy mind. So we touched a little bit that healthy mind is the one which can create quality thoughts. So mind creates many thoughts in a day. There is a research, they say 60,000 thoughts a day. So can you imagine 60,000 waves of thoughts happening in just a little bit of this area here? Profound, right? Just thinking of it makes me feel my head buzzing. So when actually all of these thoughts like ocean waves endlessly coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, and then jumbling up into a complex um, form, how would it feel? It is mind-boggling feel or imagination. And when this happens, a high level of chemicals is being released through different glands. These are what we learned is just for feel-good hormones, but there are other not feel-good hormones are secreting in the brain, and that happens with the all negative thoughts and out of control thoughts. When that kind of thought pattern is there in the head, in mind, all negative hormones secretes from the hormonal glands. So it is very important to channelize these thoughts. How do we channelize? Because we cannot touch. Mind is metaphysical. We cannot touch it. So something which is not touchable can handle this, right? Something physical can be handled by physical things. Something non-physical can be handled by non-physical thing. So non-physical thing is meditation. There are so many meditations, so many types of meditations out there, and all of them do good or bad or just don't do anything, don't work for everyone. It is variable. So what is meditation? Meditation mainly means it is a process where the physical body and the internal power, internal shakti, the vital energy is separate by harmonizing the constant procedure of harmonizing thoughts. The physical body and the mind is separated from each other, and that's when the meditative state is happening. So it's not just sit still and we are in a meditative state. There is a procedure for that, and when this happens, the release of the feel good hormones we just learned, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, that will happen, and they are secreting in the head, but then through the blood they will spread all over the body. And the good feel good and the good effects of all of that, we learned that they affect the digestion and all other many physical processes in the body. Everything will be working through that. So, and then the next comes how to take care of the body so that body remains healthy. Body can be remain well functioning, free flowing. How is that possible? So body is again physical. So obviously eating good healthy diet, and then well suitable or rounded rounded exercise routine, well balanced diet and rounded exercise routine and sattvic food, the holistic uh, raw fresh vegan diet or vegetarian diet is very necessary for healthy body. when when we buy a fancy car, and that requires a certain type of fuel, right? Certain type of gas. We invariably go to the gas station. Even we have the distinct differentiation of, oh, that brand gas is good and that brand gas is good for my car, good for the machinery of the car, and like that. So what is the efficacy of the fuel? Efficacy of the fuel is how fast the fuel comes to the inflammatory point. So for a fancy car, it requires this amount of octane, so that that comes to the at this level the inflammatory point, and it is good for that car, this car, like that. So just like that, our body is also a car, and it requires the fuel, the type of fuel which comes very easily to the flammable point, and it burns and being able to use into energy into the body. So what kind of food it would be? The food that is easily digestible, the food that comes from nature, and that type of food is very good for healthy body. So now if someone is not able to eat healthy food, their diet is faulty, or they are sick and the body is in immediate like deficiency of all the nutrients, we can take supplements of certain ingredients that body requires to function well under the supervision of a professional. Now, well-rounded exercise. We have many of us have experienced that uh, sometimes we have walked many miles. If we want to lose the weight, we have done crash diets, again giving suffering to body, not fulfilling the needs, and gym exercises and all that. And then we know, oh, how many muscles I have in the body, each and every muscle would pain, right? So that is not a well-rounded beneficial exercise. Yoga has been considered a well-rounded form of exercise. Many researches have been done so far, and that has proven that yoga can even take place of aerobic exercises. Practicing regular yoga and certain poses can build strength in muscles. Balance yoga pose can improve the balance of mind and physical balance. And there are so many other benefits of yoga, because yoga is mind, body, and soul exercise. So whoever has practiced yoga, they will be knowing that the instructor would say, raise the right hand, lower the left hand, wrap around the right, do this with the left. So constantly, while your body is moving, your brain has to think what is right, what is left, up, down. So yoga is truly a mind body tuning exercise. And when the mind body is in tune, we saw that in that type of body, the soul resides very happily in that type of mind and body temple. So there are many benefits of yoga, and I am sure so many of you have experienced that in their life. already. Yoga activates parasympathetic nervous system. So there are two nervous systems, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So sympathetic is like go, 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 rush, uh, uh, like fear, uh, flight and fright more, fear, fright and flight more. And when we are in that hyper action mode, that is called sympathetic, and in which we are most of the day. But at some point of the day, we have to come back to our originality, the rest and digest, the easy, the calm, the cool, cool inside personality. And yoga brings that state of parasympathetic nervous system activation. So again, the pranayama practice, the different breathing practice that opens the energy channels in the body, and that that energy body is activated, that actually eventually with the regular practice liberates the soul too. So these are all the facts we learned, are what science has said. And now let's talk something different. All of us are gathered here for our similar interest today. So and the one common interest of this class is to learn something unique, right? So the information what I shared so far is nothing new. Anyone can find from internet. So let's talk about something very unique. Many of us already know this, but how to match this, whatever I'm going to talk next, with the theory of how we can be our own health expert is very, very important. We may not have experienced this knowledge in this way, maybe before this point of the timeline. So let's see what spirituality says about this. How spirituality suggesting of healthy mind body, and how to keep them healthy in that utmost level. So this all comes from the supreme divine, the point of light, the energy, the supreme energy. I would call it supreme divine. And one thing we all know, that whenever now we learn the definition of health. The deterioration of health is not just when any symptoms appear. The deterioration starts when the bad quality of thought starts happening in the mind, and then it affects the brain, and a brain will secrete bad hormones, and bad hormones will bring bad health physically. So the origin of disease happens at the mind level first. So whom do we need to see? A psychologist or a psychiatrist, right? And I would call the Supreme Divine the best, the number one psychologist. Let's see how that is, how I am vouching for that statement. Because the Supreme has given us the true knowledge and the methods to deal with the overwhelming waves of thoughts. It's called Raja Yoga meditation. The methods of Raja Yoga meditation are so beautiful that we can take care of this overwhelming abundance of thoughts happening in the mind. And if these thoughts are not taken care of, we can imagine that what will happen at the end of the day. It's not only in the end of the day. We all have experienced that something that we don't like happens, and we just start thinking over it, and it's out of our control because mind is not controllable usually, right? So we the thoughts come and come and come and come and come. They don't go anywhere, and they just jumbled up with, and then we start feeling headache, and then we start feeling nausea. Even if further it further affects our digestion and acidity and constipation and what not. So the Supreme Divine has taught us this wonderful technique how to manage these thoughts. And the process is called churning of ocean of thoughts. The thoughts happening in the head are like ocean, and how to churn that ocean, it's called Raja Yoga meditation. The divine has given us this distinct knowledge to identify the good thoughts, bad thoughts, best thoughts, best thoughts. So it's like um, when we do the Raja Yoga meditation, we do the churning. We identify that this thought is coming, and whether it's useful to me at this moment or not. If it is not, I will just let it go, and it will vanish, sink down, and more thoughts will come from periphery, from external towards inside, how we saw the pond of subconscious before. So the stimulants come from outside, right? So outside to inside, and then we as we start recognizing the quality of thought, we will let it go, which are not useful or usable, and then we keep the one useful, and then we start growing more, attaching more thought one after the other, then the third, then fourth, and then a beautiful pattern of good thoughts will rise up with a beautiful pattern inside the head, and that will give the blissful effect to the soul, and that will stimulate certain portions of the brain, physical brain, the body part, and make the brain secrete the feel good hormone, and that will ultimately regulate the whole body. So I remember I was churning butter, buttermilk when I was back in India. And this is very resembling to that. Like to churn the buttermilk to get the butter out, it has to be consistently done in a certain pattern. If I do these like haphazardly, sometimes front, sometimes back, or just shake like that, no butter is gonna come out. To bring the butter, I have to churn in a methodological pattern, and then in some time, a beautiful chunk of butter comes from the center of the pot, not in the periphery. It brings up the butter from the center. Just like that, this is the churning of ocean of thoughts, which brings a beautiful patterned thoughts, and a beautiful pattern inside the mind. So let's see how the natural ways of boosting happy hormones, uh, what science is saying. They are exercise, spend time in nature, goal achievement, meditation, nutrition, practicing gratitude, and bringing up the happy memories and all that. And now let's see what the Supreme Divine has said. Supreme Divine has given us a beautiful day routine. So the usual day routine starts from the morning. The routine the Supreme Divine has given, it starts at the end of the day, at night, when we are ready to go to bed. The divine has given us the knowledge and given us a chart. And when we are ready to sleep, I will check my chart. Did I do this? Did I do this? Yes, 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 yes. And as I keep checking, yes, 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 I already feel so happy. Oh, I finished my chart. I am so good. And that will immediately release the feel good hormone, dopamine. And that feel good hormone will ultimately wind us down and prepare us to go to sleep. So, sleep, when that kind of sleep is induced, that sleep is usually sound sleep. And then the Supreme has given us the knowledge and the day routine to wake up early a.m., wake up and do what? Meditation. So we have, I have tried other types of meditation. I'm sure many of us here have tried the other meditations too. Usually, those meditations tell us to stop, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop talking, be still, just gaze at the candle, just chant one mantra. Like it's just boring, 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 and stop, stop, stop. No, no, no. That type of meditation. Raja Yoga meditation is like talk, 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 talk. It's amazing. And he has taught us how to talk, what to talk. So when you wake up early AM, he told us that talk about your goodness. Wake up with a good self esteem. Welcome your new day by giving a new self esteem to yourself. Label yourself as a higher person, that I'm a very fortunate soul, that I am this, I am that. So, like that, first I do good things to me, and then he also told that talk good things about myself, what good he does to me. Like that, it is the first thing in the morning. The conversation starts with appreciating each other. And we all know, when we talk to someone over the phone or face to face and we praise someone, the other person obviously feels good, but when the praises comes from genuinity, from the bottom of our heart, we also feel good, right? So this kind of appreciative conversation will boost happy, full good hormones in both the persons. So first, our routine starts with that fountains of happy hormones by that Raja Yoga meditation. And then the knowledge class, the Gyan class, the Murli class he gives every single day, that is full of the knowledge how I should do that day. And when the situation comes, his directions are right there. And after that, how to dress up. When I dress up in that soul consciousness, not the body consciousness. With the body consciousness, we have so many questions, so many thoughts. This color, that bottom, this top, would this match? How would I look? This will show up my belly. What shampoo I use, what lotion I use, and like so many wasteful thoughts right in the morning. And Supreme Divine's directions has saved us from all of that waste. That dress up in a soul consciousness, that will remove all of that clutter, all of that waste right there. No problem. Life is easy. And then what kind of food, where you already talked about the sattvic, raw, vegan, vegetarian food, live food, right? No, not much cooked food. Then how to cook is very, very important. How to cook in while cooking, he has given direction to think about good things, like uh, flow the good thoughts from ourselves into the food. And why it can flow It is also scientific because the food is made of 5 elements. I am also made of 5 elements. So the energy travels very fast, or on a subtle way from similar to similar. So my thoughts would travel into the food, into the water, into the things I'm touching when I'm making food. All my good vibrations are filling into that food I'm making, versus the food which I bought from the store, from the restaurant. So many of influences in there, because it is not made with love first, handled by so many different people, handled with so many emotions, and all of that is stored in that food. So that is not going to help us in this aspect. Next thing, when we eat, before we eat, we offer to the divine first. And the beautiful Raja Yoga meditation is a relationship meditation. In relationship, as we learned before, is releasing oxytocin, right? Relationship, love hormone. The divine has given us a father-children relationship. And we all know that the parents and children relationship is the most beautiful relationship in the whole wide world on a normal base. Yes. So when we cook, our first instinct is to offer the food to the one who is most important to me, my supreme divine. And when we take the food to offer, he's not going to eat. But again, the conversation, the talk starts at that point. Thank you for all this knowledge. Thank you for giving me the consciousness. I made the food with this consciousness. I am making this for all of this family, not for myself. So this kind of genuine, selfless thoughts and conversation will further feed the positivity and love into that food. And when that kind of food is fed, it boosts immunity of all three: the mind, body, and the soul. So when we talked about the energy traveling from our self to the food, to the surrounding, to the person standing on the side, or to the person far away, the energy flows because our energy, the 5 elements in this body, this energy will create that thought energy, the vibration, and the 5 elements of nature will take it to the further out, to whatever distance. It's possible, and nowadays the beautiful researches have been done to prove these theories. So nothing is like up in the air. But the Supreme Divine has given this knowledge to us years back, long ago. The research is, the science is proving this right now, but this is like very old spiritual science. So they say in one of the knowledge sharing, the divine has said that the server who is selfless and they are doing the service with a comfort, with uh, happily and comfort level, sacrificing their days and nights, then those who come in their contact, they feel that energy of those selfless servers. The vibrations travels from that to the other, and the other one would feel like they are sitting under the cool, calm cascade of cool power and peace. This beautiful description has been given by the Supreme in one of the Murlis. So it is up to us to, because energy flows either way, so it is up to us to either be affected by others and get infected by others infection, or affect other people with our positivity. And during Corona time, when it was like in full fledged in 2020, I used to get so many messages, and I'm sure many of you may have gotten it too, that vibrate higher than the coronavirus, right? What does it mean? The virus is also a entity, and that also has vibrations. The disease coronavirus carried was vibrating at a certain level. But if my vibration, my being is vibrating on a higher level, that lower level will not affect me. So always vibrate higher than everything else, that will keep our mind, body, and spirit very, very healthy. Again, this Raja Yoga meditation given by the Supreme, he has given two best knowledge to us: the true identity of ourself, who we are, and who is he, and the relationship between myself and him. So he has given a true depth knowledge about what are the qualities. As I have been talking throughout this class, that uh, certain words like soul residing in healthy body and mind, it obviously brings out the soul as a separate entity from mind and body. And without the soul, like we learned in the definition of homeopathy too, the vital force which governs the body in health. And without the vital force, the body is dead. There is no health. Similarly, without the soul, without the mind, brain is nothing, and without the soul, body is nothing. So, who we are, this body or this brain? No, we are the soul who resides in this body. There is a perfect spot where the soul is residing, in the center of the head. All of this knowledge is given by the Supreme Divine, the Supreme Father. He has made us the children of Him, and that father-children relationship is like when a small kid looking at the father with some expectation, he knows that my father would take care of me no matter what. Father would carry me if I'm tired. Father would get me things what I want. I am completely protected when I am under the hood of my father. And so the kid will not go far away from the father. He would go far, but only far from where he can see the father or mother in this worldly relationship. So similarly, the Supreme Divine has made this relationship of father and children, and we are the children. He's the only father, the Supreme Father, and we always should be within the reach from where we can see the father, and remaining under the hood of father, we are always protected. And when we have that feel of security, that feel of taken care of, that releases the good hormones in the brain again. So that all the stress hormones, all the bad hormones are just vanishing away. The feel good hormone. So remaining in the consciousness of being children, being a child of the Supreme Father throughout the day will completely vanish our stressful factors. Whenever the stress comes, we can just say, Father, take it away. And Father is not going to take, may or may not take away, but the burden we carry will be gone. And then then when we don't have the burden, we are not anxious. As I explained before, when we do things without the bodily consciousness, the body has more energy to do things. And then we will be able to perform that task, perform to take care of that extra burden things that we had to do, or whatever the situation overwhelming it was at that point. By giving it away to the Father, our energy and our efforts can grow to higher level, because the feel good hormones secretes right away in the brain. So when we are in that soul consciousness, when we are in the memory of the Supreme Father, this Supreme Father does not have a body, just point of light, no shape, no body. He's just energy. And when I am with this energy, the boat of my life is flowing smoothly among the oceans of this worldly chaos. And I, the soul, is remaining in this quality of purity, joy, blissful, powerful, peacefulness, the divine love, the one type of love that the Supreme Father is giving me. I give it out to everyone. And that giving feeling also gives us good feeling and releases the good hormone. So when we are in this blissful state, automatically it generates good thoughts, and we are in that generous feel. We become more generous. We give out things. We give not just the things, but our being is vibrating and releasing so good energy that people would love to be with us. And when in that kind of state, it's just nothing else but the happiness and the showers, fountains of blissful, good, feel good hormones secreting from the brain. So, the science theory to release the feel good hormones and the spiritual theory given by the Supreme Father, the Supreme Divine, is matching very, very much, right? But I would say the science has no capacity to prove the real depth of this intensity of the Supreme Divine's knowledge and the gift he has given to us. That's why I would say he is the greatest psychologist. And without any medical books or medical school knowledge, he has given all of this to us. We don't need to go to a med school to learn all this. Just follow the supreme direction in the form of Srimad he has given to us. And if we follow that each and every day, each and every time of the day, he has given the fixed schedule, what to think, how to wake up, how to get ready, what to think, what not to think, whom to talk, whom to not to talk, what to eat, how to sleep, everything. I'm like, oh, it's quite overwhelming. Like, who can give all this direction in this much detail? None other than the Supreme. So if we follow this direction, if we practice the Raja Yoga meditation in the given direction, we can totally be our own health expert. I think you all will also agree, whether you have practiced Raja Yoga meditation or not, if you are new today or have been practicing for some time or long time. I think we all will agree that following this, practicing Raja Yoga meditation is the best one to keep mind, body, and ultimately the soul in the blissful state of mind and ultimately the best health possible. At this point, I would take any questions if you have any questions. You can write in the chat, or maybe if you raise your hand, Sister Elizabeth can unmute you to speak up. Anyone has any question or any sharing? Any sharing? No sharing? Any feeling so far? How you feel after all these? Whether it is your brain is secreting happy, feel good hormones or not? All right. So let's experience that peacefulness meditation for 5 minutes. We will sit comfortably, but still alert. Take a very deep breath in, as if we are trying to take all of this information inside and taking out whatever it is blocking to get this information settled inside. 2 more breaths like that. And push out the blockage. Softly close eyes. Feel the temperature on the skin. Feel the noises coming from surrounding. Gazing at a steady point with closed eyes. Let the breathe happen naturally. And let the thoughts come and go. No self-talking. Feel the abundance of support of Mother Earth underneath the legs. Try to separate the thinking self by slightly moving the thinking self out of the head and up to the ceiling of the room. As if that thinking self is hovering on the ceiling and watching the body. slowly, that thinking self, it's me, the soul, is growing and rising further out of the roof. The body is there on the chair or sofa. And I'm rising up, feeling so light. I see the whole town I live in. Slowly, steadily, I keep rising above and above. And I reach to a beautiful different world. Beautiful golden orange light. I see the big divine light there. Very shiny, but still soft. As if it's calling me to come closer and closer. I feel loved. And I just get drawn to it magically. I feel so comfortable here. I feel relieved. I feel peaceful. Feel I'm recharged. And all my stress is gone. I'm happy and I'm joyful. Slowly separate from that divine light. Feeling full and recharged. slowly coming down. And see my town, my house, my body. Sitting right, my body fully recharged, joyful, peaceful, ready to take next moment. Shanti.